Being an adult is not easy. You have so many different roles, so many different hats you're wearing. Being a husband, a father, a wife, a mother, you're a sister, you're a brother, working for an employer, you're a boss, whatever it is, you can quickly lose your balance if you're investing too much of yourself into any one of those things. Now, with a lot of the hobbies and things that we like to do, I think a fair amount of moderation is needed, especially if you're in the sports betting, DFS world, fantasy sports, whatever it might be. Moderation's key. You go too heavily invested into any one of those things, you'll find yourself off kilter and lose balance quickly. I challenge you to find your balance and do so by using moderation. Let's talk some sports, baby. Is creating your own DFS process easy or hard? I don't know. I think this is probably a question that is best answered individually by each user. I don't think there's an answer that will, appease everyone who's listening to this podcast. I think a lot of people struggle with creating their own process, but I also think there is a fair amount of people who are like, yeah, process is the easy part. It's having a good process, which is hard. We can all make a process, can't we? It's not hard. It's a process in DFS. The way I take this meaning is that you have some sort of routine or structure towards building your nightly lineups that that you can easily replicate. Now, is it a good process or a bad process? I mean, that's kind of a hindsight is 2020 type question. But I think that as you are able to track your results over the long haul, you can answer this question individually. Now, there are a few things that I feel like I'm able to look at and say, yeah, your process is solid, or your process needs some serious work. For me, having a process that is easy to replicate is important with my life and the rhythm of my life, the pulse of my life. I need something that I can do it quickly and I can do it efficiently. I'm running upstairs to provide my core picks on the website, and then after that, I've got to put my lineups together, and I'm doing all that because I want to run back downstairs, play with my 3 and my 5-year-old before, it gets too close to bedtime. And I want to be able to be downstairs and help out my wife, right? So that we're all together as a family. So my process needs to be quick. It needs to be efficient. But it still needs to be accurate. I'm not just throwing darts at the wall, hoping one of them lands on the board and hopefully one lands in the bullseye, right? I've got a process to how I do all this stuff. And for me, my process, I find very easy to replicate because it does not rely on opinions. There's nothing subjective about my process. My process for all sports is basically, look at my website, teamriseorfall.com, go to the projections, upload them, and build lineups from those projections. The projections are not a subjective opinion. They are not something that will change based on a myriad of factors or variables that are ever changing. No. Something that went into the projections, the things that go into the projections, for me, nightly, do not change. That variable does not change. If you are somebody whose process in putting together your daily fantasy sport lineups is relying heavily on a person, well, then now you are contingent on that person providing the opinion using a consistent process to formulate that opinion. Your process now relies on someone else's process being consistent and them consistently using that process. That is not the best way to put together a lineup. This can be applied to sports betting as well. If you are somebody who continuously relies on someone else's opinion to have the best edge in sports betting, you are now relying on that person's opinion being formulated through a consistent and accurate process. I don't want that, and neither should you. Your process, I think, is best served starting from some type of objective base where you're looking at the rise or fall model. You've got our projections, our ownerships, and you've got a bunch of stack rankings and things like that for MLB and NFL and whatever it might be, fight metrics for MMA, and you go through this process where it is all data and it is all projections. And you have a median starting point from which a projection is created. And from there, you can add the subjective things. You can add the opinionated aspects to your process. So the base of your DFS process, your sports betting process, begins from projections, and then you take someone's opinions and you sprinkle it in. That's the ingredient right there. Those are the ingredients, right? You've got your base, which is easy to replicate every single day. Okay, I'm going to upload the projections. I'm looking at the ownership column. Anybody over this percent, I'm removing. Now what? Well, now I go to the core picks. What do you do with those? Well, sometimes I do this, sometimes that. No. That's too many variables. Find something that works. Go through Lineup Rewind on Fantasy Cruncher, our partner site. Go through them and do some research. Find out what happens if you give a thumb up to these, core picks every single night, or what happens if I take the core MLB stacks, or what if I'm looking at the NASCAR core picks for cash? What happens if I lock these guys in from the core picks sheet on the website every single time? Find a process that you can replicate and stick to it. Now, if this is not working over the long haul, okay, well then adjust. Stay water, stay liquid. Be able to easily change your process and adapt to whatever's happening in the DFS industry. Are 5-man stacks in baseball not working? Okay. Find out why. And then leverage it. And do it before the field catches up. Now, one of the things I've been covering, and I'm transitioning into this right now, and let me do so by first thanking Prize Picks, our sponsor. So there's a quick little ad read for them. Listen, you guys want free podcasts on iTunes and Spotify, which we've had over 400 downloads on each of the first 2 episodes. So thank you very much for my podcast listeners. And my YouTube viewers, I think we've had a combined 400, so not as much. They have 800 combined on the listening aspect. And I know this is more of a podcast feel, but I hope YouTube continues to climb in the rankings here. Thank you to Prize Picks for making something like this possible. Without Prize Picks saying, Donuts, we're going to give you X amount of dollars to be able to put this podcast out. Please do a read for us. I don't have the opportunity to do this because I would have to use this time that I'm putting into this show to create content for the website. But they have allowed me to step back and allow this to be my career and say, we'll support you. We'll support you financially so that you can do this. We'd like an ad read. And I said, you got it, man. Thank you very much for supporting me, and I get to do something I love. So if you want to support me, you can support me by supporting Prize Picks. So if you go grab the description section down below and grab the Prize Picks link, click on that link, use promo code Donuts, get signed up, follow the instructions, play, and then you can use our projections, our content, and everything to pick some good plays, things like that. You can check out our daily emailer, the DFSnDonuts daily email that I've been sending out, and I usually post Prize Picks emails, picks, and stuff like that. So give them a look down below, description section. Thank you very much, Prize Picks, and we're going to transition into the next part of the Donuts Talk Sports Show. One of the things I've been doing on my daily stream, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube, one of the things that you could just search Team Rise or Fall will pop up immediately on both. We're big enough at that point. We're not huge. We're big enough where you search our name, Team Rise or Fall, will pop up on both. Now, one of the things I've been researching is chalk stacks in MLB. Should you use them? Can you use them? And if you do, can you be competitive? Now, I don't want to give away too much because anybody who has tuned into these 2 streams over the last 2 days has picked up a ton of very valuable information. And guess what? Your boy applied it last night on FanDuel. Yes, much of the findings we had on DraftKings for Lineup Rewind, Lineup Study on Fantasy Cruncher, I applied last night on FanDuel. I have 3 teams finish in the top 10 in the Minimax, and I ended up netting over $500 profit on just $45 invested. So I have actually had top 5 finishes in 3 of the last 9 days. 3 of the last 9 days. And why is this? I have found a process that works for me that I can replicate every single slate based on what I have researched and found. And I have given it away to my live stream viewers. Now, you can watch these old videos on Twitch if you'd like, or you can listen here, but I feel like you need to, after you hear this, you have to come on, join the stream at 12:30 every single day, and do the research with us. I research it live. And then I test out these theories live for you. I do it for you, but you got to tune in and watch them. So what we have found over the last, 2.5 hours of streams here, at the 12:30 p.m. Eastern stream slot, is that you can be a winner in MLDFS doing large stacks on chalky teams. But you have a much higher probability, and I will not tell you the number, but it was an insane number, a much higher probability of fading or limiting your exposure to those higher-owned 5-man stacks. Now, to what extent? You had to have tuned in. I can't give it all away here on the free podcast here because the video streams are also free, and I need you to check those out. But it was drastic. I mean, it was insanely drastic, to the point where if you watch those videos, you go back and watch them, you're going to say to yourself, oh my goodness, like I wish Mitch deleted this off YouTube, off Twitch. So guess what? I did delete it off YouTube. You can't see those anymore. You can still see them on Twitch, on the video on demand, though. It's just such a big edge on the field. It's such a big edge on the field because it goes against everything that's comfortable. And I feel comfortable giving this away because I know that most of my listeners and my viewers on YouTube, my listeners on Spotify and iTunes and all those sites, they're not going to follow this advice. Even after I have said and shown people, I'm up over $1,000 in 9 days, 3 top 5 finishing days out of 9 slates, using this exact concept. People are not going to follow it. And why? Because it's really freaking uncomfortable. Truly, it is really tough to do what I'm doing nightly because it kind of leaves your stomach churning. Every time. Every time. It's a very volatile approach. Because guess what happens when the chalk hits? You get wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Your investment that night, it just plummets. I mean, it's like someone just punctured your tires and all the air escaped. But if the chalk busts, you have nights like I did last night and the other 2 nights. Multiple teams in the top 10. 2 out of those 3 times I was in the top 10, I had 2 lineups inside the top 5. 2 second-place finishes, a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th. I mean, there's been big nights. And I'm sharing this with you on my streams. I'm sharing this with you a little bit right now in this podcast or videocast, whatever, or depends on where you are. Because I want you to be successful. And I want you to win money. And I want you to be able to compete with the Sharks, compete with the field. I want you to learn how to build good lineups and be competitive. And I've learned over the years that I need to shout this from the rooftops over and over and over again to get people to listen. Because often the best ways to be competitive in DFS is to do the uncomfortable thing. Now, if you're going to be trying this out and you want to tune in and check out these streams and watch me research some of this stuff, I think it's important that if you join in on the fun, that you do so with some moderation. Because it's not easy and it's not hard at the same time. How does that make sense? Well, it's not easy to do the uncomfortable thing, but it's not hard to do what I'm doing. The actual execution of this, totally easy. Totally easy. The comfort level of doing this, mind-bogglingly hard. You're going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to put yourself in a good place to win. Thank you so much for supporting me today. Again, Prize Picks, appreciate you very much. If you are a lover of the Donuts Talk Sports podcast, please, Prize Picks, description section, grab the link, use promo code DONUTS. Huge support for me. Huge support for me. Allows me to keep doing the show, keep doing free stuff. Now, I have been posting, this 3 days in a row now, a daily emailer where I'm actually sending out strategy-based DFS content that you can only find in the email. You can't find it anywhere else. Not on either of my websites, either of my DFS or sports betting companies. You can't find it on Twitter. You have to be on the email list. Now, I have been posting it on Twitter this week, so go ahead, head to @DFSnDonuts on Twitter, and you can grab that link. It's my pinned link, and at the top of the screen, when you grab that link, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That'll put you on the email list, and within a week or so, I will stop posting them on Twitter. There's already been over 1,000 people subscribed to this thing, so thank you so much. And 3 emails to have over 1,000 people that said, I value this. That means a lot to me. So thank you very much, and I hope to continue to provide you value in your email daily. It's a nice little fun way to give you a rundown on what's new, what's trending in sports, some DFS strategy, some content, some research I've found, and then I also try to catch you up on anything you've missed, and I give away a daily donut. Yeah, my favorite donut of the day and why, just to have a little bit of fun. And I give away a bunch of free stuff at the bottom of each email, so grab those as well. Hit that sub button, hit that 5-star rating, depending on what platform you're on, and I hope to see you at the 12:30 p.m. Eastern stream, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. You go ahead and search Team Rise or Fall, and you'll find us. And thank you very much for everything, my friends. I do appreciate your support. It's humbling over the years, and even more so humbling being an owner now of a company and being able to see how many people are supporting. Mind-boggling numbers. So thank you very much for everything, and I love you all, man. I love you. See you on the inside.